All right, so I want to make a very quick video about how I pretty much try to optimize Telegram to be as useful as possible for finding signal of potential trades or just interesting things in the market, right? Telegram is what every native crypto person is using on a day-to-day basis to communicate, discuss ideas with other people, and get the fastest kind of signal and insight into new coins that might be interesting, right? Or news affecting trades that you're already in. So the first thing is, the reason I think this is important is because the more organized you are, hopefully the better you're going to see stuff, right? Like ideally you don't want to be watching this all day. You want to make it as easy as possible. So within Telegram, within the folder section, I'm pretty sure folders are available for whether you have a free account or whether you have premium. I think if you have premium, it just lets you make more folders, something like that. But the biggest thing I would do, and this will prevent you from getting scammed by random people trying to DM you all the time, every person who you know is legit, who is someone you speak to, someone of value, always add them as a contact, right? Like you don't need to share your phone number with them, whatever, just add them as a contact and it will basically, that's like your way of instantly vetting if this is a person you know that you speak to, etc. Put all of those people specifically into a folder that you make into a contacts folder. That way, anyone you deem of value that messages you, straight away, like you're getting a notification and you can see it straight away. The next one that I think is pretty important, and that's like for your friends and stuff, right? The next one is also to prevent you from getting scammed. Have one for non-contacts, right? And that way, and the way I basically use this is I have a little folder called inquiries, right? And this basically means that I never miss a message, right? And 99% of the time, these messages you'll get from random people are completely useless, right? But for example, I faded Tokabu being sent to me at 70K market cap when it went to 70 million because the dev sent me the message and I didn't see it, right? But now with this like inquiries kind of like folder, anyone who sends me a message ever who I don't already have as a contact, I will see it straight away basically if I filter through this folder. So highly recommend you do that. It will also just mean that like it basically just puts like all of your bot and spam shit into that folder. The next thing is, you can obviously make specific ones for channels and groups and things like that. But personally, I like to do it in a slightly more curated way. So I have my contacts. I have something called Port. It's just like useful group chats that are like important, but not necessarily trading related. And then I kind of like split my trading groups into what I believe to be like the high signal ones, which I call FNF, and then the slightly lower signal ones, which I call FNF2, hence why it's at the bottom. It's like less priority. It's like group chats that I'm in, but I don't necessarily check very often at all, maybe from time to time. But for the ones I want to really see all the messages, like I'm checking every day, like all day, every day, those ones are at the top. They're super important. And then on top of group chats, obviously, there are many guys who share their thoughts on the market, running stream kind of format via a Telegram channel. And I've actually found a lot of very useful insights from those. And it's also very good for news related stuff, whether it be the Watch Your Guru channel or like, whatever it is, right? So again, I have basically a high signal and a low signal bucket, right? A and B. And so A is like the super high signal channels that I follow. B is the slightly lower signal ones. A, I'm more likely to check. B, I'm less likely to check. And then like, if you're running Telegram on web, like on your desktop and shit like that, I guess not web, but desktop, you can also, just a reminder that like you can clear your cache so that it actually like runs better and runs smoother. And, I would like recommend you fucking around with your settings here because, sometimes you might just find like it's slow and stuff and you don't need to, like when you're in as many group chats as people like us are, there is so much media being sent in these things, like talking like hundreds of like photos, images, videos every day. So doing that from time to time is good. And then another note on the channels, like what I actually personally did is I set up an O account that basically follows all these channels. And then I linked it to a custom site that I've made that I'm going to hopefully release to you guys soon because I think it's got some pretty useful stuff that basically has a running stream that checks all the channels that O account follows and gives me a little like notification sound ping every time a new message comes in. Of course, I can turn it on and off, whatever. But, it means that anytime someone shares a tweet, I can see a preview of the tweet straight away without even having to click on it. And if they share like a tick, let me find an example like this, then I can literally like click here, add it to a watch list, which I can then see here. This is like just in testing mode, so these are all kind of shitty tokens, but adds it straight to my watch list. And yeah, it just like makes it easier. It's like a great way for me to have a running feed of everything that's going on. Kind of likewise as well with anything that's like trending, right? Like anytime something is trending on Pump Fun, I'm basically pulling all of the ones that Pump Fun is showing and adds it straight here, have some coins that are running, etc., etc. But that's beside the point from the Telegram side. For the Telegram side, yeah, just stay organized, and hopefully that will allow you to catch as much alpha as possible.